Welcome to your OG show of the week.
Delicious.
What is this one, Dave?
I don't even know why I said that. This particular show, let's see. I've got the synopsis ready to go, but this particular show was all the way back. You know what sucks is that I do have this pulled, and now I can't find it for you. Show number 355, entitled "My Name is Benny Lago."
All right.
And I'm going to tack on the Brad Williams interview on the end of it. I'll work on getting you a date, but it was definitely a 2016 scenario.
Yeah.
We do
Probably February, if I remember correctly from last week.
I don't know why it didn't print the...
March
it printed the entire synopsis, just not the date of the show. It says on this week's show, Rogue Pub Meetup Recap.
All right.
All right.
Was that when I went to the Rogue Pub anniversary show and me and Maisie got kicked out?
It's possible.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Let's see. Tom's test results.
Ooh, which
What?
test?
Yeah,
Is this
I don't know.
a sperm test? You've taken a lot of tests.
It may have been the testosterone test.
No, that was more
They
recent.
should just call that an osterone.
Well, I don't know what test that was.
Specimen X, eventually be Deadpool. We've got that. The Brothers Grizz. Scarballs. Test. This would have been your vasectomy test,
Okay.
but which you have never done.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I figured it out.
maybe we're gonna.
Because we're talking. Well,
Talk
Scarballs clued me in.
Oh well, that's
Do you have scars
This
down
is
there?
February 26th.
it. Kind of
Let me see your balls.
no, sir.
26th. No, sir.
Or maybe it was when I thought I had some sort of. I did for a while.
Is that when you had the dried cum blob
Yeah.
in your balls?
There was like little hard balls or nodules in my testicles.
Nubbins.
And
Testicle nubbins.
and you know, for men that should concern you, any sort of foreign lumps in there, because there are.
But there's stuff down there that I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. There's vein balls.
Yeah,
and
I have a
things.
vein ball.
Yeah.
Do you have a vein ball in your balls?
Oh yeah.
I have a
That's
vein
how-
ball in my balls that I was like, well, this is certainly cancer. And then I went to the doctor and he goes, well, that's your vein ball in your balls. And I go, well, what's it for? He says, it's just a ball of veins. He's like, I got one, no big deal. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? I don't think I should have that.
I think
Not a lot of room down there.
Tom Green getting testicular cancer stuck in my mind as like, oh, it could happen when you're young or what, anybody.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe that was because Drew Barrymore was whacking him around too much.
since then I've
Yeah,
always,
it's the woman's fault.
you know,
I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying it could be a man.
everyone.
I'm just saying he could have been having sex with somebody more boring than Drew Barrymore.
Well, we don't know how she is in bed.
And it could have been a man. Well, I have a feeling that just based on the fact that she was like addicted to drugs and alcohol at the age of 5, that she's a good fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, call me crazy,
Or
but
maybe she did all that young and now
Got
she's
it out of her
boring.
system.
But it
you're
never
right,
goes away.
It doesn't go away.
no, it never goes away.
She's
Drew
Like,
boring more.
if you're a good fucking man or woman right now, when you're old, you still are a good fucker.
how Tom Green, he reminds me of a boring like nerd in the bed. Like he's over the top in his entertainment life,
Yeah,
but like
then
he's
in
probably
bed,
subdued.
he's not doing bums on the rail while you're
no,
butt plugging him or anything.
Yeah. He's probably
Gross.
he's just standard Joe, missionary.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he's Canadian too, which they're
yeah,
not
extra boring,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're a little more, vanilla,
Anyway,
no sprinkles.
so I found those balls in my balls, and
Balls on balls.
Ballception.
I was,
Yeah, balls on balls crime.
went back to that real man doctor that gave me the vasectomy, and he told me that's like, it's normal. He's like, you from where I cut your vas deferens, sometimes semen will leak out, and then your body
Yuck.
will attack it because it's a there's some foreign thing they don't understand what it is, and then from the attacking will cause like scar balls at the end of
Hence
your.
why it's on the list. Star balls. There you go.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just did the show for you.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, how about you put that on the little pamphlet that you gave me where like, hey, put some ice on your balls.
You're going to have some balls in your balls.
Yeah. So,
But they're not the balls you normally have. They're new balls.
just to give me the heads up when I reach down there and I feel some balls and I think I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
agree.
yeah.
It's more for guys like me, not for guys like you.
Yeah,
You're
well-
never even going to feel down there because you're oblivious.
Well, here's the thing.
But you did. Did you find it? Did your wife find the scar balls?
No, I found them.
Oh.
She's not first.
Digging around down there like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Does she ever touch 'em
Not-
ever?
Yeah, not really exploring.
I had a
So-
dream last night that my wife was really touching my balls good. And then it was one of those dreams where I was like coming out of it, and I'm like, yeah, she doesn't touch the balls very often.
Yeah.
It's too close to the doo-doo hole.
Oh, yeah,
First of all,
you want
that. Oh, God.
I asked her. I said, touch the ball. She goes, too close to the doo-doo hole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And when you get to be an old man, they like Jeff Howe, they get longer and they'll whack
Swing
you
Pendulum.
like
Yeah.
a turkey goozle.
And I'm not. If I'm gonna get any touching, I'm just straight for the dick. It's like
Yeah.
if you only got
They have one choice.
if you only got one run, you swallow them. Fuck the kneeboard. Anyway.
Only got one chance at this. Make it the dick, not the balls. Because you'd feel awfully shitty if you were like, yeah, this ball play is a lot of fun. And she's like, all right, I'm done. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
It's like I tell my boys every time they beg for 5 more minutes of playing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we better make it worth it. Whatever you're playing looks stupid more. you
You know,
better
that
step it
game
up.
is the equivalent of playing with your balls, you idiots.
You only got
You gotta
5
play with your
minutes.
dicks.
5 minutes left, and you're choosing stuffed animals. Like, go for the goddamn something better. Anyway,
Yeah, at least get a monster truck or a spaceship or some shit on there.
Yeah. So there's that.
So I'll keep moving here. My name is Benny Lago. Women versus men job roles. National Enquirer headlines. This must have been when Ross was going through his National Enquirer phase. O.J. Simpson TV show. I'm flummoxed. And Akeem Woods calls in from the side of the road in Georgia.
I think that's when he broke down,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah, there he went.
He wants to call in this week.
Yeah. Let's talk to him.
And I'm going to try to, maybe we can Skype in. Like he's apparently, everything I see from him is like, no gigs, no comedy. Haven't seen a dick other than mine in months.
I saw that post. Yeah.
Which obviously, when I read that, it wasn't at all shocking or off-putting to me at all. I was like, yeah, I bet you he hasn't seen a dick in a while. I almost felt like I needed to take a picture of mine and send it to him.
Yeah.
Well, the internet's full of dicks.
No, but not. It's different. It's different.
He must be a very giving man, because I would be complaining that someone hasn't sucked my dick in months, as opposed to me seeing. You know what I'm saying? If I
Oh,
was,
he's talking about seeing, not sucking.
Yeah. But I'm saying if I was gay, I would be more mad that someone
Wasn't
didn't-
sucking my dick.
Yeah. That rather than I'm seeing like
You're
for,
assuming that just seeing the dick means you're going to suck the dick.
for instance,
Right.
even if I like now, if I wasn't married, or even now,
Yeah. Okay, I like where this is going.
You know what? I'm currently complaining
Okay.
about no one sucking my dick.
There it is. All right. So you are
I-
no different than Akeem Woods.
I am not. Well, no, he's complaining about, like, for instance.
But at least
I'm
have you
not,
seen some T's and V's? You know what
No.
I'm saying?
Oh, hell no.
You're
No?
you are Castleberry Akeem Woods.
But I would complain about not getting mine first rather than seeing, like, he's like complaining about not seeing dicks, or like it would be
Yeah.
like me complaining about not. I haven't seen
I
a
also
pussy in
think
months.
I also think it was a joke. I mean, but
No, I know.
But I also
I'm
don't
joking
think.
around
But
too.
also, I don't think there was a joke. And I haven't seen another pussy in years.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't count a video. I mean, a real pussy.
Yeah.
And there's only one other thing I could claim, and I'm not claiming that because that's my child. That
No,
doesn't count.
that doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Just taking that off the table
Yeah.
in case somebody wants to be a Weisenheimer and throw that out there. I'm just saying I haven't seen a different vagina live and in person. Wait, hold on. I have to think of the last time that you and I went to a fully nude strip club and I was able to see one.
Garden of Eden.
Didn't get that far.
that.
Didn't get that far. Just
Just got mugged.
just got mugged. There was no vagina there.
We've
I don't
never-
even think I saw titties there.
We never been to a fully nude strip club.
Yeah, we did. We went. Well, no, it wasn't fully nude. They were just doing things they probably shouldn't have. Remember when we took Fat John, the Nugget champion, to that club, and then the girl tucked the dollar bill in her butthole?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that was that wasn't fully nude.
Yeah, but she shouldn't have been tucking a dollar bill in her asshole.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that's as close to fully nude. That's actually worse than fully nude, right? Fully nude is just they're nude. They're not putting a dollar bill in their butt.
Yeah, I think he was tucking her G-string and.
He went a little far.
Yeah.
Fumble fingers.
Anyway, is that it for the OGs?
Yeah, that's pretty much there. And then I'm going to tack it on the Brad Williams interview. And I think this was the first time we talked to Brad. in here. Or was it the only time we've had Brad? I think it might
We
be.
only had one.
I think
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
only had him in one.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like more. We've had run-ins with him more. We've talked to him more. And he knows Carmen really well. Our friend Carmen Morales.
Yeah, he's only been here one time.
I think he's only been here. And it was in this studio, not the old studio.
Yeah.
And he
Where-
wrote, "You must be this high to be on the podcast."
Whatever happened to that? Was that Australian or New Zealand kid? The whole thing with the.
Yeah, that died fast, right? Because Corona popped. It was right before
Yeah.
Corona. You had the little person kid who then
bullying
was
and
bullied, and then they had the video of him saying he didn't want to live anymore. And then Brad's a little person. So then he tried to assist, and then it got some
GoFundMe.
traction. And then the GoFundMe, I want to say, got like $500,000. Like, Hugh Jackman was doing videos. He's like, "Quaden, it's me, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine.
Then
You
the-
have no reason to be bullied at all."
Then the pushback came from people.
They're like, he's posing in a Gucci little person. This is a thugster little person.
exploring all his social media and then picking everything apart. Then the fake news stories came out how
Yeah.
this person was actually like a rich. And
I
it
like
turned-
the ones where they're like,
Yeah.
he's really 52 years old.
Yeah.
Those
Then-
are my favorites.
Then he was like, what was that movie where the little person ended up being like she was posing as a little girl
Oh,
for
Orphan.
adoption?
Orphan.
yeah.
Oh, that was
And
good.
she was a murderer. So
Yeah, that's
then it went really orphany, where the person was posing as a kid and was not actually a young person.
And then his mom.
and he was secretly rich, and it was all a scam.
Yeah, his
and
mom was like secretly obsessed, or not secretly, but his mom was obsessed with social media. So she was pushing him to do like these videos of him
Yeah.
posing in front of Lamborghinis or whatever. And I think it just turned out that he was just a normal little person kid being bullied. And then his parents, though, got so much like bullying themselves and being canceled that they just said, "Fuck it, here's all the money back. We don't care anymore," which is really sad.
yeah, it was something like that. Although
That's fucking sad. That's real sad.
the world does a bizarre thing, and I think it's a combination, and I'm sure we'll figure it out in the future. I bet where this will probably end, which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but follow me here. So there's been a bunch of these where some viral video comes out of like this happened years ago,
Quaden.
where some mom gets bullied on a school bus.
Oh, I love her.
By other what are they?
Yeah,
high
they were
school or
like like middle school kids,
Yeah.
and then she was riding back there, and they're like,
Yeah.
"You're a big fat piece of shit."
Yeah, they're calling her a big fat
Kids
piece
are
of
the
shit.
worst, man.
And then the video
as
comes
hell.
out, and then someone starts a
God,
GoFundMe for her, and then someone donates like $300,000 to her, right? And this has happened like a couple instances throughout in the past, whatever, since GoFundMe. I don't know how long it's been, 10 years now. Like how long has that been a thing? But so
It was June 2012, and the video was entitled "Making the Bus Monitor Cry." I guess.
So it's a bizarre thing that we do where we see that, and obviously you're like, these kids are pieces of shit. What's going on here? Whatever. We feel bad for the person, obviously, and then we donate money to a person where this whole thing wasn't about like this lady needing money or this being destitute or
Right.
like
it had nothing to do
support.
with the financial aspect.
Yeah, it was just that she, was being bullied by kids, obviously, where she should have turned around and told them to shut the fuck up. She's an
Right.
Well,
adult.
a lot of
But then
people-
she would have
yeah.
gotten in trouble
Oh,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, well,
Do you want to see it? I have a clip of it here.
you can. I mean, an adult can tell a kid to.
Yeah, but
not,
you know how much parent outrage there would be? No, they won't even care that their little shitheads were talking
No.
shit to this
She's
lady. If she
right.
would have gave that one fuck off, they would have lit her up. Her career would be over. Then she'd need the financial help.
Well, yeah, I
If
guess.
she would have told him to shut the fuck up,
I
and
guess,
go,
yeah, you're not going to curse at it, but you can. I mean, you could punish them in a way. I
how
mean,
the bus monitor?
Well,
God, this was
because
7 fucking
hold on.
years ago. My God.
If you are a chaperone on a field trip and some fucking kids are talking shit to you as an adult, like there's repercussions for those kids.
Seemingly there is none.
Well, yeah, there. I mean,
Instead of punishing these kids, they just gave this lady money.
Well-
they just threw money at the problem.
I think any teacher or any person that's been a chaperone will tell you that you shouldn't take any shit from any fucking kid, and there should be repercussions to kids acting like dickheads. I mean,
There should be, but
you can stay calm and
well,
do it. I think
Yeah, but
I think what Sam's saying and what you're saying are closer to exactly the same.
Well, there's no. Well, these kids are yelling at me. I can't do nothing because I'll be. You fucking tell
Did
those
anything
kids.
happen to those kids? Did they get suspended? Did they get
Yeah, I'm
detention?
sure. Yeah,
anything?
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
did.
they did.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
Anyway,
here's the story from. This is 2012. I just want to see
Video
it.
ricocheting across the country.
little bit
A
of it.
video, a number of parents say they plan to sit down and show to their children to start a conversation about bullying of all kinds. The unlikely target in this video, a 68-year-old woman. And here's ABC's David Muir.
Damn it.
It is 10 minutes, 9 seconds long. The cell phone video of a painful bus ride now traveling at lightning speed online. As parents and their children now watch a 68-year-old bus monitor, Karen Klein, taunted
See,
by
I
4
wouldn't
middle
even be
school
able to put up
students.
with this. I had a damn kid.
Dude, you're so fat. You take up like the whole entire seat.
The boys taking aim at the bus monitor near Rochester, New York, whose
Well, she isn't thin.
Well, I don't understand why
I'm
they're.
joking.
why-
I'm joking. I'm going-
Like as
know,
soon as
I
that
know.
kid put his finger next to her ear,
Well, they're touching-
I had a daydream of murdering that
Yeah,
child.
touching is a little different.
that
When you're
bad?
like, when you-
Anything. Well,
yeah.
if some kid, I'll be like, first, this will not go on. Like, you are going to be suspended or in trouble. You're not going to go on the field trip. Like, this is what these adults are here for. Now, I understand maybe she doesn't have the capability to discipline these kids anyway. I don't even understand why she's a bus monitor on a trip
Yeah.
if she's not responsible.
You voted.
If you're the adult, you have to keep order and you have to that's what you're there
she's
for.
in
Right?
overhead.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
in
yeah,
overhead.
She's doing
And they
some-
don't. And then and
Isn't
the
there
fact is
another
that
adult? Tell the bus driver that person.
bus driver's not going to be able to do shit.
Oh
man.
yeah, a real man or woman bus
my-
driver.
yeah.
They'll
My-
tell you
yeah,
some
my-
shit.
My bus
Not
driver.
anymore.
My bus
No?
driver
Not
would,
allowed
would
to.
have thrown
You're
you
allowed.
off the.
Hold on.
You have no power, and
Yes,
these kids know it.
You have power. You're an adult, and that's the whole point is that you have power. You're there for power.
What exactly are you going to do when there's 35 kids on this bus?
Oh, I
throwing
I-
shit at you.
I pull
and-
over.
Yo, yeah, you
I
say
pull
this.
over and be like, well,
We're going back. This whole thing
we're-
is canceled.
Yeah,
like,
or hey, we're
No,
head-
this is just going to and from school.
No,
This
I
isn't
Well,
take
yeah.
them all back. I go, hey, we're reversing this bus, and everybody gonna get off
Yeah.
the damn bus.
There-
I'll just drive it back.
there's.
That's not how that works.
I think it
No,
is.
you
yeah.
can totally do that.
Yeah, you are an adult. You are in charge of the kids,
I-
and you are more powerful. And definitely have. I mean, it's like a police officer being like, "Well, these people are attacking me, spitting in my face. I cannot do anything because they'll have a video." No, you can definitely. If this lady wanted to get up and be like, "All right, everybody's saying these things,
Everybody
to me,"
off the bus.
like
Calling your folks,
or-
I'm calling somebody to come pick you up.
Or we're going back and we're going back to the school where the principal's getting involved. Like, there's something to be done, right?
Yeah,
I
she's
know.
just not the type of
Yeah, yeah.
person to do that type of thing. But yeah,
I mean, like,
probably the worst
I'll
bus
refuse
I'd
to-
love
monitor.
to have a bus driver or a bus monitor call in or email me or something with what power do you have? Because I've ridden on plenty of buses with shitty kids, and there's not really much they can do. Yeah, they can yell at you, but so what? These kids don't care.
Well, there's
Well,
not much.
I mean,
that-
you can
there-
get
there's a
I mean,
difference
there-
between there's not much that they can do and there's
Do
nothing
nothing,
that
yeah.
they're doing. There's a massive difference
I
there
mean-
because sometimes you think there's nothing that can be done,
Well, if these
but
ki-
you're choosing to not do anything because it's easier than actually going through the channels
if
of getting
the-
something done.
If these kids are doing this at school, you get there's protocol where you get detention, suspension. Like there's not like, oh well, these kids are talking shit. There's not. I can't discipline kids anymore. I believe you can. And but anyway. Back to the weird thing in society we do. We see
damn.
these videos and we donate $300,000 to this granny, and then that's somehow but like I understand it's just small increments, so it's like everybody donating $1 or $5. It's just the
Some
masses.
people it wasn't. I'm
Yeah.
sure some people kicked in $5,000, $10,000, something
Yeah.
like that because they felt bad. Or,
But it's bizarre because like what do you think that solves? Like do you think?
I think it's more to bring attention to it
yeah.
than actually thinking she needs the financial. I don't know. I'm
It's
not
weird,
really-
right?
Yeah.
The whole thing is
Supposedly
weird.
they got disciplined. Supposedly she also got an apology from the kids.
By the way, people spend like 20 years in the fucking joint for a murder they didn't commit and don't get anywhere near this money. Like, you know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh,
So
yeah.
we are all over the place in society with giving people money because of what they think we did or what we think they deserve, as opposed to other people that have like their whole lives
God,
ruined by
I guess
shit.
that was
and-
a thing. I guess a lot of people in the Twitch chat room are saying that they knew of or had their bus driver drive right to the police station and just say, get off the bus and go inside.
Yeah.
And
No, you can do. You can. I mean,
No, what is that going to do? The police can't arrest them. They didn't do
the
anything
police
illegal.
can scare the shit out of the kids. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And they're
Oh,
kids.
no, that is something. I'm
This
sure
is a
that,
society.
Sam,
We have
I think
control
that-
over kids.
I think that you can. I think that as a police officer, if you're on a bus and you're bullying the lady that's supposed to be holding order on the bus, I do believe that there's something that they can do. I don't think it's just like, there's nothing we can do. We
No,
have to
of
just
course.
let it out.
Yeah. Of
Sorry.
course,
There's no recourse here.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, there was the whole story where that cop arrested that like 6-year-old kid for biting and throwing stuff at their teacher, and the cop got fired.
Well,
So what can't? I mean, I don't know. I don't know where the line is.
Well,
Like-
there's every situation is different, and I'm sure that cop got fired because he handled the situation wrong. But
He might have been excessive,
Yeah,
or not
yeah.
known that the kid was autistic
But-
or special needs or
but
something.
100%, there's not a I can't do anything these days because these kids can do whatever they want. Like no, that is not happening. These adults have.
I mean, all I guess you can do is suspend them, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can take away.
I think
everything.
it starts with bus privileges, which is
So
like.
they don't get to
Yeah.
ride the
Yeah.
bus.
And trust me right now, if you're a parent and,
Yeah,
the
and- yeah.
bus system is a really nice thing to have, and if you take that away and
yeah.
make the single mom having to drop you off now, fuck, she's gonna be mad as fuck.
That's
Yeah.
more punishing the parent.
Well, then
Well,
Kid doesn't give a damn, right?
Well,
But
yeah, well,
It's not
obviously
punishing the parent if you didn't instill the right amount of respect to your child.
Yeah.
It's a reflection on
Right,
you,
I
and
agree.
yes, it will come back on you.
If,
so.
if this is one of your kids, most likely you got some piece of shit parent, and we'll let that piece of shit parent beat you because now they have to drive you to school every day or whatever the fuck. But I'm just saying, like, we'll let the parents handle
Hot
it
take.
the way they want. But they're gonna be pissed if you get kicked off the bus, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's definitely nothing you could do and just be like, well, these kids can now have full run. They're adults. You're a fucking
I
adult.
remember my bus driver. We've talked about this guy before, Jeff Pettit. He was a pro surfer buddy of mine.
Yeah.
In New Smyrna Beach, and his mom was our bus driver. And Mrs. Pettit would fuck you up. Like, I mean, it was obviously a different time, but there was no bullshit on that bus.
Oh yeah.
Nobody, like, I remember me and some other friends just getting into trouble for just sitting near the kid that was acting bad, and she would turn the bus around and would go home, and then you'd be late coming home, and you'd fuck up your mom and your dad's
I
plans
was
or
gonna say
whatever.
your parents didn't freak out.
Oh yes, but it was at that time, maybe not now, but it was within her protocol to be like, sorry,
Right.
taking you back to the fucking school because you guys are acting like turds.
Yeah. I mean, there is, yeah.
I wonder if you can do that now, or if
I
parents
bet you
will
can.
feel
Yeah, you
shit
can.
fit
I-
because their kids aren't home.
Oh,
on
but
time.
who
parents
cares?
go shit fits
Yeah.
all the time now.
But that's the thing too. We can't.
We've ruined our own recourse by being
Yeah.
too.
But we haven't though. I think that we're looking at certain situations and we're making broad generalizations and being like, oh well, now we can't do anything because you'll get in trouble if you. And that's not the case. You could still do a lot. I mean, we still live in a sane society for the most part. We're seeing crazy outliers in certain things like this, but you 100% can and have recourse to handle piece of shit kids and other things.
But my takeaway from this is, she was taking up the entire seat. That's my takeaway.
Also, why is she a monitor that can't say to these kids, oh, they're
Oh,
just,
a lot of times they just throw random staff on these buses just to have an adult there,
yeah.
but they're not necessarily qualified
Maybe she
to be
didn't
doing
even
that.
know where she was.
Yeah, like, obviously, she doesn't have the capability to
Not
handle the situation like an adult should, right? You
Fucking
don't.
Dan was one of the guys on the bus making fun of her.
You don't.
No, I'm just.
but
There's not a lot of self-control there.
You don't let kids talk to you like that. You fucking tell them.
Yeah, I want to see Tom on a bus with a bunch of middle school kids when them talking shit to you and see how you react.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'll
they
tell
probably
them
wouldn't do it. You want to know why? Because it wouldn't bother him. She started crying. They want the reaction.
If some kid talks shit to me, immediately, here's the thing.
I don't think you'd do anything.
Yeah, I would be like, all right, this kid right here, what's your name? Like,
Or if they're like, fuck you, old man, I'm not telling you my name.
well, then I'll go to the teacher or whoever's in charge and be like, this kid needs to be punished, and that's whatever the protocol is.
Yeah.
That's it, because this, and here's whatever. You act like a fucking adult, right?
No, I agree. I
you
agree.
don't sit there and cry about it. Some fucking middle school kid.
Oh, it was sad though. I remember watching the video. I'm not going to
Nothing
watch
against
anymore
this
of it,
lady,
but,
whatever.
yeah,
She
she's
got
fine.
she got
She's great.
300 grand.
Yeah, good for her.
You know, like I said, a lot of people have way worse problems than that.
They do
did
indeed.
nothing.
Let's jump into it then. Here's your OG show. Originally show number, God damn it, Daniel.
Is it 355?
355. Named My Name is Benny Largo. And then we're going to transition out of that into our interview with Brad Williams. So, yeah, check that out. And we'll see you on the BDM show. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Let's jump into some voicemails. I love it when you guys leave us voicemails, and there's two ways to do that. Either get our free app, download it, use a little button called Mediocre Messages. They come through crystal clear, or you can call this number, 1-844-TOM, the letter N, D-A-N, Tom N. Dan. I know it sounds a little weird. If you go ahead and leave us a message, you might hear it on the show just like this one right here.
This message is in relation to the PD poster about the Obama poster worth $250,000. I live in a neighborhood that my friend says, quote, is very dark and
What does that mean?
just make enough to get by. And I get the same amount of enjoyment out of going around all of the rich neighborhoods around my neighborhood, that people throw stuff out, and I go around on trash day, pick all that stuff that they're throwing out up, and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. I get the exact same enjoyment out of it. This might be the new rich man, poor man thing. I don't know.
Okay. What do you think about that?
You're all over the place
Yeah.
and a little bit racist.
Yeah, a little bit, lot bit. You decide.
So
I've never heard that.
First, he said his poster was worth $100,000, not $250,000.
I think the weirdness there, because I had the same problem, is that I do believe in the same interview, and you can hear it if you go back to our latest Freddie Free show. I believe he said he's holding on to it to see if it will get to $500,000.
Well, he said his whole collection he's got insured for $500,000.
No, I remember
but
that
he said
part.
he's hoping that it'll appreciate more, and by the time his kids grow up. But that's when I was saying, and then he said it wouldn't go much more. But then I was like, well, if you took the $100,000 now and you just put in the stock market, every 10 years it should double, so you'd get more in the stock market.
It's also
than
not
appreciation.
tangible. Like, it's not as I would be concerned to have something that expensive that's made of like parchment. That's made of papyrus. You know what? It's fibers at its very like boiled down form. It's nothing but fibers. That's going to deteriorate unless you have it like protected, right?
I'm sure if he believes,
I'm with
it's
you.
worth-
If you get $100,000, just get rid of it, man.
Yeah.
I have no way he's gonna get $100,000. He said he could maybe get rid of it 80. I doubt that.
Sam and I have been looking.
Again,
We can't even find one listed for $100,000.
Yeah.
No.
Again, I think this goes back to the joy
It's pipe
of the
dreams, yeah.
actual, collection.
Well, guess what? Like most people that show up at those pawn shop, or the Antiques Roadshow,
Yeah.
the reality shows, they always over value whatever
the
they
entertainment
bring in.
value.
Well, even in their own minds,
Oh, yeah,
they gonna come in at the tip top of
Yeah.
what it could be.
People do that with baseball cards too. They're
Yeah.
like, well, this is mint. It's like, you don't really fully understand how it works. You know who we should talk to about posters? Because this guy is really, really into posters, even more so than I believe Juan or Butler or anybody else that we know, is Prince, formerly of the Buckethead Show.
Oh, yeah.
Our buddy Prince that lives out in L.A.,
Yeah.
he is a massive Star Wars poster collector, almost to the point where I think he's been doing it like 25 years. I bet you he'd be able to tell us no nuts, like exactly. He probably knows exactly what this guy's poster is too, because he collects a lot of the, the different kitschy street art type stuff, and it's also more prevalent in LA than it would be here. So
Also, this guy says he goes around the rich neighborhoods and then gets the garbage and sells it on Facebook Market. How lucrative could that be? Like
it's a lot of waste of time, in my opinion.
how many times or how often are people throwing away something that I understand like metal and stuff like that, where obviously
An
you're
old
getting
piece
in
of
bulk.
furniture can be recovered.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah. But I'm saying like something where you can instantly throw it on Facebook Marketplace, and how much you're not getting multiple hundreds or even over 100, right? For something someone throws away,
I can't see that happening.
like I know a lot of rich people, and even rich people, I know they get rid of a lot of things that have value, but usually they'll give it to friends or family or someone they know if they know or think it has multiple $100 worth of value or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
Before they just put it on the curb. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
PD Posters is the latest person to be loaded onto the Tom and Dan Our team. The last entries we had were Slopmouth Andy, Snuffy Sniffy Snuff Nose, Cheesy Sniffy Wet Nose, and PD Posters.
Nah.
So he has been enshrined. We've had Sit Stand, we've had Miracle Whip Mayonnaise, we've had, I'm trying to think of the great debates in Tom and Dan, the Tom and Dan universe. I'm trying to think of any other ones we've had. We've had console versus, PC gamer, those kind of things. Sit Stand probably being the biggest one we've had. Frozen Bread, the newest one that we've had. Where do you stand on toilet and lid?
All right, drunk rambling, BDM Nelson, Minnesota here. Quick question for you guys. Hopefully, quick question. Growing up, here's my girlfriend laughing at me. Growing up, I grew up with my mom. It wasn't just putting the seat down. I'm talking about toilet etiquette here. It was also you put the lid down. I had to sort of train my gal and my stepdaughter on you don't just put the seat down, you put the lid down as well too. I'm always worried about something falling in there. What is your home toilet lid etiquette? Is it just the seat down? You have the lid up, or do you all put the lid down? It's one of those controversial things, almost as much as sitting or standing. But I'd love to hear your opinions, your thoughts, your etiquette, and love you guys. Thanks for all the content, and thanks for keeping this thing going during all this crap. And love you guys. Peace out.
There you go. Seat up, lid down. That's the way I make my brown.
Well, this was one of my original arguments.
How's that work?
Seat down, lid up. That's the way I like to grunt. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a rhyme to. I'm a seat down, lid down guy. That's how I was raised.
After you're finished. Okay.
No matter what it is, yellow or brown, you go
Seat down, then flush.
No, it's lid down, lid and seat, because seat before lid.
Right.
My
Seat
argument
down, lid down, flush.
Yes.
was always okay, like because
For my daughter, you slam both down. Kang!
I never understood the argument in the sitcom and all the thing about leaving the toilet seat up.
Like a Seinfeld episode or
yeah,
something?
Yeah, it was like Married with Children or like any of these. It was a common sitcom thing.
Because women don't look and they fall in.
It's also because it's gross that I have to go and grab this toilet seat now to put it down when you're the one that put it up.
Yes. Now, my argument...
Because I don't know if you've seen the studio toilet, but underneath that seat's a goddamn disaster.
Yeah.
I never look under the seat. It's like looking under an old school desk.
I walk in there and it's up most of the time.
Boogers and go, hey, I'd put it down every single time.
This is my argument. I do not put it down, and I'll explain to you why. Okay, so... Samantha, I'll be a lawyer here, right?
Okay.
So we're all equal, right? Men, women, equal playing field.
You
Right?
gave me a side eye like you didn't even believe that.
We're all equal, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
For the sake of argument.
We're
playing along. Okay.
Yeah. In a totally fictional world.
In a vacuum.
Yeah. All other intelligence and strength.
Take everything out of play. We're even.
And fighting skills. Take that out.
Take every detail out of play.
Ability to manage correctly.
Only go on, like, you're a person, I'm a person.
Mechanics, engineering.
Intelligence levels.
Yeah. Hand strength.
Hand-eye
foot
coordination.
Strength, kicking ability, throwing ability.
Quickness.
Archery ability.
Fast and slow muscle fiber tension.
I think we're about even riding horse. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're all equal, right?
Okay.
No, I think women are better at riding horses.
So, well, it depends on what. Like, are you shooting an arrow
Riding
in
a
a
horse?
war? Are you jumping some?
Who's shooting arrows in war nowadays?
I don't know.
Where are you in?
I don't know, but I don't want you ladies on my side.
You know what? I got some ice squid. I'm gonna shoot at you.
Yeah, with this all, look, you don't know where this is all going to flesh itself out.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, there's some arrow shooters, and then there's the person that fills the animal bladder for the water, so I can stay hydrated and shoot them arrows. I'm just like, anyway, all equal. So
I mean, there's arrow shooters and then there's horse brushers. We know who brushes the horses.
my tail is tangled. Anyway, so
What did you do all day? All of these saddles are dry and the tails are tangled.
So all equal. So I feel that the toilet etiquette should be equal as well, right? Follow me here.
So women should put it. All
I'm saying is,
right. Yeah, no, I know where you go.
my duty, I feel,
okay.
is to be like I have to respect my not only female coworkers but my wife or any female that uses the restroom in the vicinity or area that I'm in.
All right. Sure.
So when I go in there, if the toilet seat is down, I am putting it up. I'm using my hand to reach down and put the toilet seat up to not get the sprinkles on the toilet seat because I have respect for the people coming in after me. Maybe it's a man that's sitting down to do number 2 or a woman just sitting down on the toilet seat. I am doing my due diligence to lift the seat up so that no sprinkles get on the seat because I'm having that respect. Now, after I do that, that is one half of my contribution to society, women or man using number 2, whoever's sitting on this thing, I am doing my part, which is half my part.
So you realize you're only half-assing it then?
No, because your half is equal playing field is to put the seat down if you want to use it. Because I put it up.
He's saying fair is fair.
I'm saying put things back the way you found them. If you're coming in there and you're lifting the seat, then put it back down. Put it back to its original.
What if another guy is coming in? I'm saving him the effort of lifting the seat.
It's not equal that way then, because when you go in there, your seat's already prepared and ready for you.
So you have to do nothing?
You have to do nothing.
In this society?
I understand what he's saying, but it isn't fair. It isn't fair for you to just
This is the most ridiculous
argument.
You mean to tell me you just get to go in there and sit down?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything?
Oh, the king's here, everybody.
You don't have to do any preparation whatsoever. For those of you.
I see what he's saying, but I don't.
How about you lift it up after for me so I don't even, you know what I'm saying? If it's already up, maybe I'll put it down, but I'm not doing both up and down. That's 2. I'm doing now both jobs. Oh, equal pay for
Or you could just leave the seat down and not pee on the seat. I don't care.
Well, that's hard.
That's hard.
My prostate.
That's just
old
genetics.
man can't pee in the hole.
That's just genetics.
And then sometimes
plus I'm uncircumcised, and that thing is like,
it's sideways. It's could be. There's a gigantic. It's too much.
I'm uncircumcised. So for me, it's like basically having a really ugly silencer on.
We could all just be sitters then.
Droopy silencer.
You guys could sit down to go pee pee.
I like sitting down to go
and
pee
then
pee.
there's no issue of anyone having to put it up at all.
Sometimes I feel bad though for sitting on the toilet here because I know that traditionally you're the only one that really has to sit on the toilet here, so I don't feel like I want to oversit on that thing. I want to keep it a little nicer.
Yeah. And then
that's why I poop in the trash can.
What if the ghost of my pop-up is watching? There's a lot of variables here.
Watching you.
The first question is, hey Papa, why are you watching me when I go doo-doo?
I don't think he cares to watch that.
I'm senile. Even my ghosts are senile. I don't know where hell I am.
Yeah.
I was trying to shoot those Japanese planes in the sky, but I can't. I wound up in your bathroom. Just watching you pee.
Yeah. Also, he may be more angry about generally how I run my household than the sitting down to pee-pee thing. So you're right. But again,
you don't want him to see too much.
No.
Back to my original argument that I had years ago when I first started radio, which is I never understood why I have to do both parts. I said I'll do half. But it's up to, the women have to do nothing. It's all up to the men. I'm just saying.
Here's another one I don't like. I don't like to flush with your foot. Because
No!
for some of us that forget and flush with our hands, all you're doing is taking the floor pee
Yeah.
and kicking it onto the toilet.
Yeah, your bottom
Use
of
your
your-
hand, then wash your hands like a real human being, not an animal.
Yeah, the bottom of your foot is more disgusting. Now you're putting whatever on the bottom of your foot onto the handle where people touch. That's ridiculous.
That's why I take my shoe off,
that's a
and then I put my
narcissistic-
hand inside my shoe, and then I push it down, then I put my shoe back on.
Just use your hand for everything and wash your hands. You know, that's it.
Or use your hand for everything. Don't wash your hands. Just don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because
Wash your hands.
Because nobody knows. Nobody really knows. Like, we all say that now. We're like, wash your hands. But I have another theory about like staying inside all the time and in my house. I'm dirtier now than I've ever been because I'm in the house all the time and I don't feel the need to ever bathe.
Yeah, I agree with you. Back to
I'm dirtier than I've ever been.
I remember more of my argument because this evolved throughout the years.
Also, I don't know why you're arguing with me because I'm always putting the seat down.
I know because you're
So-
now in the Tom Van system of toilets.
Not by choice.
You're in the Tom Van toilet system,
Yeah.
and you're about to be transitioned to the Tom Van bus monitor system here in a split second.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I'll end it with this because I never understood. I was like, okay, well, why is it important that I put the seat back down? And then the argument
Well,
was,
why do I have to pick up cans around the entire studio and crush them because you guys
different
leave them
argument.
everywhere?
yeah,
You
that's-
literally walk them to right next to where the damn
Just
trash
like my
can
wife.
is.
You can't win one argument, you switch to another one.
There
But
we
you don't
go.
give a damn about fixing our relationship. All you want to do is win.
Are we working together or not?
Yeah.
I want a divorce.
Well, that's a whole different part of. There's lots of little bad things that I'm doing.
Okay.
That I can't justify. That's just pure ignorance and laziness.
There you go.
But back to the toilet. So then I've argued with this with Crystal before, and she's like, "Well, we fall in because we're not looking, and we assume the seat's down." I'm like, "Well, that's on you. Oh my, you're just looking and
Yeah, I haven't done that since I was
Yeah.
a kid.
you're just.
I mean, that's the
You're
equivalent-
sitting without looking at anything.
Yeah, why don't you just walk on the rope bridge, not even looking where you're going, and
Yeah.
just fall off the side of the mountain?
You just walk in, assume that the seat's down. If this is that big of a problem, why do you assume the seat's down every time?
And at
Like-
least once, if that's going to be what you say, oh, I
Yeah.
fell in, at least once you've fallen on the floor because you're like walking in there completely blind, right?
Yeah, and how many times do you have to fall into the toilet without looking before you sit down?
And what's the protocol after you fall into the toilet? I feel like at that point you should either take a shower or kill
Yeah.
yourself because you're completely tainted.
Aren't you? And then also, aren't you used to hovering? Like that's an ability that you guys have trained yourselves
Yeah.
for years. Why isn't that coming to play?
Or why
You're
don't we just make-
falling into the toilet every time?
Here's what I'm going to do with my new toilet design is I'm going to make the small bowl, the bowl, not the lid, not the seat
Right.
or the lid. I'm going to make the small bowl the same width
Yes.
as the actual seat. That way you have a catch-all. It's a gross catch-all, but you're not going to fall in at least, right?
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Why not make it the same size?
I'm with you.
Then you can't fall in.
The problem is, some people have big,
Like,
four
yeah, like
foot-
the Buzz Lady.
yeah, 4 foot in diameter asses. I mean, it's something.
No.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've
Some
4
of-
foot in diameter.
Yes, we saw one.
I
We
saw.
saw one at an Orlando City match.
I saw a
And
lady.
Tom and I were
I'm not
walking-
joking. She 4 foot. I mean,
We remember we were walking into the what was
Yeah.
that party zone at Orlando City?
yeah.
And then we were walking in there, and this lady was walking in, and I'm not trying to be mean, but this is the I looked at Tom, I go, that's impossible.
I mean, we made the joke that it would be like holding my hands. Imagine I'm like, I caught a fish this big, and then doing the boofing motion. I was like, how does that even work?
No, it was the biggest thing we'd ever seen.
I was like, how do you sit on a toilet?
And you know the more impressive thing is she was really fast.
yeah.
Like she was
She
athletic.
wasn't that big
It wasn't,
any- like,
no,
she
she
wasn't
wasn't
even
that
that big.
big.
Yeah, like-
it was just genetically a ginormous butt. It wasn't even like fat. It was just like this was the largest
was-
ass.
it
Well,
was-
it was fat.
yeah,
but-
yeah,
I mean, like, it
Okay, yeah.
wasn't not fat.
Yeah, but it wasn't like she was wearing her sheet to like couldn't
No,
get out of her
no,
house.
she was
like-
athletic.
Yeah, like her waist was very like
I wonder
well
if
not
she,
tiny.
like,
but
is there, so, you know, there's
something weird.
Well,
breast
tiny.
reduction. There's got to be butt reduction, right?
Yeah, that can't be,
be
easy to
comfortable.
live with.
No.
I mean, it was gigantic. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So we've been talking to a lot of our friends and friends of the show to check in, see how they're doing, and one I'll consider him a friend of ours
definitely.
because we've had him on the show a bunch of times and super nice guy. and we haven't talked to him in a little bit since probably Fringe last year, I believe. So on Skype with us right now, and for those of you who want to see the video component of our show, just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan, or our YouTube channel, because Daniel puts up all the videos of like Quarantine Cribs and everybody we talked to on Skype. But on the line with us right now, Chris Turner. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
It's really good to see you, man. I was actually popping around on the Twitch, I want to say a couple nights ago, and caught your game show.
Oh, that was very silly.
Did you
enjoy
awesome.
What you grabbed?
It was phenomenal. So he had these guys in four corners, and then he was in the center, like green screened out. It was dope.
Yeah.
And then he was running like this completely, I'm guessing, improvisational game show.
Yeah, that's my improv group from back in the UK, and we'd started hanging out on Zoom, and then I was like, hey, because we just mess around, why not broadcast it on Twitch? So I can't promise we're going to do more because it's the time zones make it hard, right? Because it means I have to do it in the middle of the day, they have to do it in the evening. Some of them are in Norway as well, but it's just a very silly way to hang out with friends and mix it up from just the usual kind of, oh, how's everyone doing? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair's long.
And one of the things I really enjoyed that you did was he had it set up so the viewers like us could donate for the prize.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
So I'll tell you what the prize was. So it was, we kind of ran this prize pot. So like the viewers play, they're like, oh, you vote on the winner of each round and stuff. And the viewers also chose a couple of rounds that we played. But in the end, I was like, okay, whatever money we've had donated, we make a prize. So with the prize money, the winner, and he doesn't know this, is being sent a custom coronavirus face mask. However, what's printed on it is his nose and mouth. So he can wear it over his face, but it still looks like he has his nose and mouth on his face.
Brilliant.
It's horrific and horrible and unsettling to the max.
I love it.
I hope he'll like it, yeah.
Are you actually getting a picture of his own face?
Yeah, no, because we're all actors, right? We all have headshots. So I immediately was just like, oh, I can get a high-res photo of his face, send that to this guy who I think they usually print people's faces on underwear. So you can buy boxer shorts with your face on, right? Which, that's weird. But a face mask with your own face printed on it. Yeah, so it looks like you're not wearing a face mask, but obviously you are. I don't know. It's a dumb thing. And that was always going to be the point. Like, the prize was never going to be good.
You bring up a point that I have brought up a couple times is during normal Zoom chats with friends, it's seemingly like you always have those couple friends that don't know how to use technology, so then they got the reverb or the echo, and no one knows where it's coming from. So everybody's like, I'm hearing echo. Where's that coming from? And, of course, the person that doesn't understand technology is coming from them, and they're like, I don't see a problem here. But, of course, like, how do you know?
They're usually the loudest one, too.
Yeah. And then...
and they're like, they just don't even respond. I've been doing a lot of virtual gigs, and I think this is one of the things that kind of I lucked out because I'd started doing more virtual stuff anyway, like live streaming. I had all the setup, right? So I could immediately like pivot to that, and I had my green screen and I had all this stuff. So I've been doing all these virtual gigs, but a lot of them are me for companies, and it's just laughable to see all these companies and be like, wait, how are you not yet to grips with Zoom? They'll be like, where do we do this gig? I'm like, on Zoom. They're like, what's Zoom? Yeah, we've been inside for a month and a half. How are you running your business? And so you then go on the Zoom call, and I'm like, cool, you need to make sure that you mute everyone, and then there'll be someone in the car, there was someone in the car when they were driving, holding the phone, watching the Zoom call. So throughout the whole call, it was just this engine rumbling noises and horn honking. And I was like, politely like, hey, could we ask Jane to mute her thing? And Jane is definitely ignoring what we're doing.
Well, she's driving.
Yeah.
It's super dangerous.
Yeah. See, well, I guess there's fewer cars on the roads, but still, I'm not encouraging it. Don't Zoom and drive.
Well, Chris, I'm assuming that there's a lot of business owners and people that run their companies similar to how I run the company or business or whatever.
It's a lot of toilet seat up, toilet seat down talk.
Is that once I have reached a point where in my mind I'm like, well, it seems like I'm pretty stable, whatever. I've told myself I'll never learn anything new again. And that's where I'm at right now.
You just disconnect and you let your employees ride it out for you. And then just as long as they're doing it for you.
Like, I didn't get into business to start working really hard forever. I got into it just to get to the point where I don't really have to work hard again, and that's all I want to do. And,
that makes sense to me.
And then everybody's calling me a dumb old man, and everybody's like, you're an idiot, you're running this company to the ground. But in my mind, I'm like, it'll last just long enough until I die. And then that's it.
And who cares what people say about you when you're dead?
Or you work for a giant company, and you're like, I got a golden parachute. Who cares?
Too big to fail.
Like, I'll eventually either be pushed out or retire or whatever, but I'll have my monies, and whatever I do that's going to hurt
tells
this.
me I don't think that's Chris's way of doing things.
I'm just saying it's the dumb old white man mentality that I assume a lot of people have, and I respect it.
Across that. Do you guys know what the Peter Principle is?
What? No, what is that?
So it's from this like business management book. I think maybe from the 60s or the 70s, maybe a bit more recent. But I learned about this the other day. It's this fact that in companies, everyone is promoted to a level of incompetence, right? The idea is you get promoted because you're good at your job. So you get promoted to the next job. And if you're good at that, you get promoted to the next job and the next job and the next job. However, once you don't get promoted, that's because you weren't good enough at the position you were promoted to move up. So everyone in every position is not good enough for the position they're doing. So there's this argument like, once you start going, I think we should promote this person, you shouldn't promote that person. You should stack the company full of people who are one level lower than they should be, and that way the company runs better. But obviously that's how no companies run.
Yeah, I have heard of that before.
Yeah,
and
I think it's really great.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know how many big corporations you've worked for, Chris, because you've been an entertainer for a long time. But in every corporation I've ever worked for, and I've worked for some big ones, that's been the case, seemingly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not
agree with that.
talking ass about any former managers or anything like that. You just look around and you're like, this guy is my boss, or this guy is his boss. You're like, this ain't good. And this is definitely why this is all shim sham, ridiculous, nothing matters. Like, who the person is telling me what to do has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
So you probably see a lot of these with your virtual gigs. What other things have you been doing? I mean, obviously you're in LA. What other things have you been doing to try and keep yourself, I guess, creative or not freak out or
busy?
Yeah, so it's been about 6 weeks since we kind of locked down. LA was California was one of the first states to do it, I think. And my last gig was maybe March 12th, I think Thursday. And that was just before Friday the 13th. And that was the first gig that was canceled, which sucked because I was due to be performing that night. And I knew that, there was a possibility that John Cleese was coming to that show.
Whoa.
Monty Python fame, just because his daughter is a very good comedian. And so she messaged me and was like, hey, I'm going to be at that show tonight. And my dad's thinking of coming along. It'd be really cool for him to see you, because we've spoken about him and how I revere him. Because she's one of those things, she's got a super famous dad. And so she acknowledges it rather than being like, I don't want to talk about my famous father.
Yeah.
It's like a godfather of comedy. Obviously, we talk about that. It's weird that I do comedy, right? So that was the first day without a gig. And I think I'm super lucky, right? I've been doing a lot of virtual gigs, these Zoom gigs. I've been doing virtual college gigs. I've done at least a dozen virtual college shows because, again, immediately as soon as the lockdown started, all these colleges lost their entertainment, right? They couldn't do shows. And so my agent, who's very smart and good, she was like, hey, we should just start pitching your show as a virtual show. So we immediately booked in, just solid booking these gigs. And all I do is I do like this to camera. I say that, I know people are listening rather than watching, but I sit in front of my camera with my mic, with my music. And for an hour, I just take suggestions from the viewers and rap about it. And it's super fun. You get varying levels of success because some universities, loads of people turn up to watch, and some of them, they don't advertise it. So it's literally, I did one for the University of Massachusetts, Boston. The only person watching was the newspaper editor for the university. And I was like, oh, how did you find out about this gig? Because I don't think they've advertised it anywhere. She said, they said, hey, can you go and review this gig for the newspaper?
Literally the only person?
Yeah, it was one. No, it was a student, right? She was young, but she was just, she reviewed it just saying, hey, this is a great show. I mean, it was weird because it was just me telling a man in California what to do for an hour. So the review was really nice. It was like, this would have been great if there were more people watching. I hope that he comes to the university and people come to the gig. But that confuses me that like they'd book you and then do no advertising.
Do they pay you?
Oh, yeah, they pay me, yeah. I get paid in advance. That's definitely the new thing about these virtual gigs. Get paid in advance, because then if no one shows up, they'll be like, hey, no one, not even the person who booked me showed up.
That could be a lot of things. It could be lack of technology, of knowing. And then again, universities, it's kind of could funnel back to our other conversation about bigger corporations. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's what they are.
They drop the ball. Plus, like, I'm virtually certain, like, what do you say, 97% of the students, once they were told that college is over or like online, just took off and never looked back.
Exactly. Some of these colleges, I'm like, how many students do you have? And they go, we have 56,000 students. And then I'll be like, wow, how engaged are they with the entertainment? They're like, oh yeah, we usually do like 100 people at the comedy shows. And I'm like, wait, you have 56,000 students and in your live events, only 100 people show up. What are they doing? Like, then again, I remember being a student. But the thing is, you can't drink when you're student age in America, right? So what are you doing?
Yeah, well,
I mean, you're just drinking at a house party.
You're drinking illegally.
You're just drinking illegally.
Yeah. It's
all of you. So it's kind of wrap around the main. I'm lucky enough to keep performing in a sense, right? And I do like public live streams on YouTube or these kind of weird little one-off game shows on Twitch, which is great and it's nice because donations come in and it's nice to see people supporting artists. And I think I've done various virtual gigs with other comedians, and we did one. We had 7,000 people watching it. Like one of the biggest comedy clubs in the UK put on a live show. I was the one live act. Everyone else was pre-recorded. But we had 7,000 people watching, and they were raising money for the staff of the club. And we haven't got the numbers back yet, but I think they did a really, really good job. But the one thing I miss is the actual live aspect of it, right? Like I can still perform to the same number of people that I would perform to live, like 250 people on a live stream, same as 250 people in the room, the club I play. However, I realize what I like is the applause, is people looking at me and laughing and me hearing that and going, oh, yeah, I did that. I made you laugh. Show, hanging out and being like, taking photos with people and like, shaking hands. And now I don't have that. And I realize, what I get from performance is not the performing, it's the reaction. The hardest thing.
That makes sense to me.
It makes like what makes sense about it is just like anything. It's like drugs or anything you take to get something in return. It's that the endorphins, the way the chemicals your brain releases, it's going to be different and based upon the same action you've been doing for years, which is
the energy. Just something as simple as the energy. I mean, there's the same amount of eyes on it, but the energy is going to be immensely different. I feel like
the feedback is what you crave, not necessarily the fact that you're performing, like you said. And there's interesting. Also, for you, Chris, it seems like your performance or what you're doing lends itself a little better to this aspect of how you're presenting it through Zoom or whatever online, because I saw, like, we know a lot of comedians, and I saw on Dan Cummins' Instagram the other day, he did like a live,
I saw that too.
a virtual show live, and he agreed to do it with like some comedians.
Said it was a little odd though.
Yeah, and I've heard of this from a lot of people. Like the first time they did it, they did not like it. They said how weird it was, how different it was to perform without instant feedback, and how odd. And some people have gotten used to it. I know Carmen Morales, a friend that's out in LA.
She's thriving doing it, but it took her a minute to get used to it. But I think, Chris, did you find, I mean, obviously you've been doing streaming, you know, this isn't a new thing to you. You were dabbling and getting really good at it before it became the new way. So, I mean, do you think that helps?
Yeah, definitely. And because I started streaming after meeting you guys for the first time. So it was you guys and your kind of expanded circle of close people who know what they're doing, who were like, hey, you should start streaming. But in October, so it happened since I saw you guys last, I had like my YouTube channel blew up in quite a big way. because I used to have like 20,000 subscribers, and then I had one video go insanely viral. Like it's coming up on 8 million views. And that put me like, I got immediately like 100,000 new subscribers. And then since then it's gone up to like 220,000, which is great.
That's amazing.
I was working for like a year, putting out a video every week. And I was like, hey, these videos are good. Why people aren't watching them? And then one took off, and then the rest of them took off. And I was like, oh, they are good. That's good to know. Because you were just like kind of, I don't know, grinding away going, but is it good? So that meant that that's why I'm doing a lot less Twitch, because although Twitch is, I have a good number of followers, but my YouTube now is, 220,000 subscribers. So you go live on that and people get the alerts. And obviously, fewer of them are going to come through because there's not that connection that Twitch has. But I was doing those live streams before. I've probably done like 8 or 9 weekly live streams before shutdown. And then I just kind of pivoted harder to the live streams. I'm doing fewer than I want to because I'm having to preserve my energy and voice for the college gigs, right? Because they pay more, and it's nicer to worry less about kind of asking your fans for money.
Yes.
I'm not having to push my donations as hard because I'm in that position where I can do these college ones instead. But yeah, I don't mind performing without the feedback as much as I think some stand-up comedians would. Like, obviously I miss it, but the fact, if you're telling jokes, I just stare at the camera and be like, my friend's nickname is Foreign Film. We call him that because he's all talk and no action.
Yeah.
Without a laugh, it's awful. But my friend Scott Bennett, who's a super funny comedian from the UK, because he's great, and he's been like coming up through the scene through working hard, and he quit his he had a good job making like a lot of money, but he also has 2 kids and a wife, and he quit it 3 years ago just to do stand-up comedy.
Wow.
And he did a show about it called Leap Year. And he was like, hey, it's really risky. Like, my whole family could starve to death because I was the only one making money because he was making good money. And then I packed this in just to follow my silly dream. But it means he's always worked hard. And then obviously he immediately was like, wait, so now our family has no income?
Right.
He started immediately doing live shows in his shed. And what made it work is that his wife, Gemma, who is lovely and funny and great, she sits in for every show and is the audience. So he's not really performing to the camera as much. He's performing to his wife, and she has the best laugh. And he's writing new material every week, so she's never heard it before. It's not like it's the same jokes each stream. He's doing an hour and a half each week because he's really putting the time in, like all week, just like she's looking after the kids, and he's like, I'm making money by writing, and he's like got sponsorship through it.
That's awesome.
Radio stuff, but it works because she is there laughing.
Wow.
Now, I would never dream of asking my wife to sit down and...
I was about to say, what a saint. I mean, this guy, he found a winner there. I just start talking while I'm doing the dishes, and my wife's like, my God, please shut up. I can't take it anymore. Just, you talk for a living. Just go do it on that. Why are you telling me?
Never talk to me again.
Your cockamamie business ideas. I'm so tired of it.
That's hilarious.
Like, I couldn't imagine, like, hey, sit down, babe, and I'm going to do a podcast, and you got to laugh at all my jokes. It would
I think
punishment.
I think neither of our wives would ever opt into that. They just divorce.
Yeah.
And then we go in that direction.
Chris, going back to your YouTube video that went viral, because you're a smart dude, did you try to go back and try to analyze why that particular video went viral compared to any others?
I think I know why. And it was all accidental, because I think it's not the best of my videos by a long shot. However, it is shorter than some of them. It's like people who see my videos, it's like I get suggestions from the audience and then I do a rap out the suggestions. A lot of my videos, increasingly, because this is what my fans say they like, it's a lot of crowd work at the start. It's like 3 minutes of getting suggestions because I'm making jokes about them, and then I do the rap, and the rap might be 4 minutes, and so the video's like 7 or 8 minutes. The video that went viral is just over 5 minutes because literally I started getting suggestions that night, and they just came in really quick. Like people are just shouting out like boom, 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 boom. So within a minute and a half, I've got all the suggestions, and so I then start rapping, and so immediately the video serves up what it says it's going to do. It has that hook. And I've learned this is a thing, like psychology of YouTube. You want to get people to click on the video, right? And if you click on a video, YouTube is like, oh, this is a good video because people clicked on it when they saw the thumbnail. My thumbnail in it apparently looks like I'm Elon Musk.
Oh, really?
All right.
it was a video of Elon Musk rapping. Because like it's a picture of me, and then it says, "I'll rap about anything." So people are like, "Why is Elon Musk rapping?"
Okay.
You do have a little Musk to you.
You're a little musky.
Yeah.
Elon, I mean, when people said that, I was like, Elon Musk looks weird. And then I was like, oh, wait, Elon Musk was married to Tallulah Riley twice, who is a straight up hottie, and Grimes, who is, fit. I was like, oh, that's good. I mean, also it may be his, big brain and big bank, but
more of the billions, really. That's.
I don't find him at all. I don't know. Maybe I disagree. I don't look at him and think he looks weird. To me, I look at him, I think he looks European.
Yeah. He looks like a pasty European, just like Chris. No offense.
So I then figured out the main psychology on YouTube is to get people to watch a video. You have to play with their like emotional triggers. So people click on a video if they're like, oh, I'll love this, or if they'll hate watch it. Like it's such a huge proportion of YouTube. And so what had happened was I was doing a show called White Boy in New York, which is a show about race and masculinity. So I was like, White Boy, good title. So what I started doing was my videos for that month, I made all the titles. White Boy drops unbelievable freestyle. White Boy spits fire about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
White Boy freestyle raps like you've never seen. I was like, oh, cool, because that's going to give me some good SEO. And then what had obviously happened was everyone was watching it being like, wait, why does it matter that he's white?
Oh,
and people like clicking it, like hate watching it. But again, YouTube loves controversial videos. So if it's getting a lot of likes, but still some dislikes, it's like, well, most people enjoy this, but some people violently disagree. So then the comments start and people are like, why does it matter? It would be racist if you put black boy, blah. Why is he boy? He's a man. And now they're like, oh, you just have to Google Chris Turner White Boy and see him doing a 2-week run off Broadway. That's why it's called that. But obviously people, why would people put that work in? So that just blew it up. And it's still, I'm so lucky because it keeps just coming back. Like people just keep watching it now. It'll do like 20,000 views every couple of days. And you're like, this is from October. So hopefully it'll just keep going forever because, maybe 10 people watch it and 3 of them go, I love this guy. I want to see, whoa, he's got more of them. And then they get into that rabbit hole of watching more and more and more, which is and I think that was another thing. Once you've watched it once, people believe it's not real. So either they'd watch another one to prove that it was a one-off and then go, oh, this was real, or they watch more because they're like, I want to see more of this guy. And that, I think, is all these kind of things that came together to make it blow up. And I've had other ones since then that have done really well, and I know why they go. But you're just throwing stuff out into the void. So if anyone who listens does YouTube and goes, oh, like it's not working, yeah, I was just plowing along at it for a year, and then one caught off, and I only know in retrospect.
That's kind of what we're doing. And we just put content out there and try to, grind it out. But I guess that you could, we say that about anything really here.
No, we need to start labeling our videos more controversial.
Oh God!
That's the
Don't
way.
let Tom in charge of this.
That's what Chris is telling me.
Right before
put white boy in there.
I know. I did. The last video I put black boy doesn't put down toilet seat.
Don't put that.
And then I put your picture, and then I just stamped racist on your head.
Well, it's the basic psychology of the internet. It has to be it's
got to be polarizing. It's got to be weird. Yeah.
It's if people don't hate it or it's not inspirational. If it's someone talking logically about like the middle of a like, hey, they have it right on this side and on this side. I think we should go. No one wants to hear no one wants to hear logic or reasoning or like some like explanation. Like, these guys aren't that bad. If you look at it this way, it's hate, love, inspiration.
It's so weird because people will comment being like, hey, why is this video titled like incredible, earth-shaking freestyle rap, the best freestyle rap ever? You're like, well, because you wouldn't click on good freestyle rap or a satisfying freestyle type. No one clicks on that. And it's annoying that you have to do that. But if you want to make it work, you have to play the game. And then you just hope that most people know that that's how it works, right?
I do like the idea of you naming your freestyle genuinely entertaining freestyle. I like the idea of it just being something just normal and then that one catching on. But you're right, it's just never gonna happen.
But you know what this does? You know what this does ruin? Like when I tried, there was a while, I know I don't know if you're a American football fan, Chris, but
Oh, yes, I know all about the gridiron.
Yeah, he looks like he keeps up on it like daily.
I got lost in a YouTube hole one time trying to find the longest, I was like, how long can a human throw a football? Like, there has to be some sort of evidence on YouTube, I imagine.
Yeah, what's the record?
Of like the longest football throw, because I was trying to see if there's ever been a quarterback that threw 100 yards or not. Anyway, stupid YouTube hole when I was high. I got in and I couldn't find it because every GD video is labeled longest football throw ever, because exactly like you said, that's what everybody's searching for. And all I see is a bunch of kids throw some granny. Like, it's just it's nonsense. I couldn't actually find the longest football throw because
And you never will.
there's 10,000 videos labeled longest football throw, and it's all buried by that. So there is
YouTube got what they wanted, which was you clicked through multiple videos,
Yeah.
absorbing those adverts. So
And-
they want that.
Yep, and then I just caused the problem to be perpetuate more through that. Anyway, Chris, so speaking of your YouTube channel, let's get some plugs out of the way so people can find it and find out what you're doing and all that stuff.
Sure. Well, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Chris PJ Turner, P for Peter, J for Joseph. But if you just go on YouTube and search Chris Turner Rap, then my channel comes up. And then I'm on Instagram as well with Chris Turner Comedy, which is also my Twitch handle. Just, Chris Turner and the stuff, it comes up. Also, a big thing is as well, if anyone wants customized freestyles, that's another little kind of side hustle I'm doing. There's an app called Cameo, which is also a website.
Yeah.
You can commission me to do a custom freestyle. So in the last 5 months I'm coming up on 200. I'm actually one away from doing my 200th one.
Nice.
So I do those for birthdays, graduation presents, roasts, or if you just want a little rap for yourself, and people seem to really like them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's way better than Chum Lee from Pawn Stars telling us
we
happy
ordered
birthday.
one. He was outside, we ordered one from Chum Lee from Pawn Stars. He's standing outside a Subway. He's like, "Hey, what's up? It's Chum Lee. What am I supposed to say?"
And then-
"Oh yeah, we're glad you fired Lee, you idiots."
Then the Chocolate Rain guy.
Tazon Day.
We explored a Cameo back when it first got released. Pretty interesting.
I was initially very skeptical. I was like, why would people pay money to have me do a rap? And then I started doing it and I was like, oh, a lot of people would. Okay, this is cool. And yeah, I think mine are quite good value because I do three minutes of rapping, really. It's like you get a full freestyle. And what's fun is when the people who get them send you the reaction videos as well. They're like, hey, my wife's the biggest fan. So it's never wives, it's always husbands.
Yeah. Well, not to get anything for free, but I wouldn't be, American radio show host if I didn't ask you
To give us some money to prop our company up?
No.
Oh.
Because to give us a little freestyle. I know, but Daniel
you
hates
know
this,
where
by the way.
Cameo is. I'm barely uncomfortable right now.
I'll donate to your Cameo. What's
It's not a donate. You purchase.
You have to purchase
whatever.
it.
All right, I'll purchase. I'll go and just you'll see my Twain 30569 is my Cameo email address.
God.
I'll just put a donation. This will count for this. But I'll give you a small setup, Chris, because every day I walk in to the office, because we've been basically putting out content since this whole thing started. And I have to listen to everybody I work with, including Daniel, talk about this video game, Animal Crossing. Are you familiar with it?
I am very much familiar with it. Yeah, I don't play it, but all my friends do.
Yeah, okay, so I'm in the same scenario
Good as
where
hell, man.
I don't play it. It seems like a baby game, but they're all talking about how the raccoon mayor of this town won't buy their garbage or something.
He's
And I have
the
to-
owner of the resort company.
Yeah, and I have to listen about their who's Garden of the Plums and
It's not plums.
Excuse me?
and then their
It's turnips.
They got some sort of weird basements. They're decorating. To me, it's ridiculous.
You don't
but
listen to a word
No,
we
I
say.
don't. No.
It's all nonsense to me. But I have to listen to it every day, and everybody's talking about Animal Crossing, and then I have to sit there and be mad looking at my computer as I hear them talking about Animal Crossing. So could you end this interview, Chris, with a short, doesn't have to be long, freestyle about Animal Crossing. You can go either way. I would
So-
prefer to go towards the hate route, but that's fine. You can go towards liking it now.
Okay, cool. I'll drop a beat and we'll do this.
All
This
right,
is the
yeah,
stuff.
Oh my god.
Very uncomfortable.
Animal Crossing rap.
Listen,
Very uncomfortable.
I gotta pull my sleeves off.
Rhymes, fire off the hook. Running Animal Crossing, my name is Tom Nook. I'll lend you money, although we call it bells. If you don't pay it back, well, I'm coming for you. A high rate of interest, take a turnip from the ground. Then what's next? I put it on the turnip market, selling it good. Did you see on Twitter it's enjoyed by Elijah Wood? He be visiting your island, and they said, can you get a nice object for the basement? Decorate it, paint it by my own hand. Walk around animals looking on the nice sand. It's a real beach, fun for everybody. When you got Nintendo Switch, it's never shoddy. A fat popular game coming from Japan, enjoyed by everybody, but not this man, Tom Van, saying no, I hate it. Animal Crossing, I'm just frustrated. Wanna take the cartridge or the CD disc and snap it on my knee and throw it off this. It's upsetting, unsettling. You're a grown man, why are you trying to play around with an Immo? You should just get a little Barbie if you like toys. Are you feeling it heartily? Why is everybody obsessed with the game? Addicted to it, I should give it other names. People say Animal Crossing is just for kids. There you go, a freestyle rap that Chris just did.
Yeah! For somebody who does not play the game, you know a lot about it.
Yeah.
He's brilliant at this.
You know more than our sales guy Butler, who's been playing for months.
I know.
I think I probably gave myself away by saying it was played on a cartridge. I imagine it is not played on a cartridge.
No, I like that part.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like. In fact, it can be. They're actually little SD cards, so close enough. Hey, man, it's always so good to talk to you.
Yeah. And
Delight to talk to you guys.
we appreciate it, dude. Stay safe and
Give some love to your wife. I know that you recently married, get married, and then boom, your world shuts down.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, she's probably in the other room being like, when will he stop rapping?
There it is. Well, Chris, we appreciate it, man. Take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Is too. Thank you.
All right,
see ya.
man. Take care. That is our buddy Chris Turner,
Yeah.
and he's live in LA right now, and he's keeping it,
God,
keeping
it's
it
good.
rappy.
Yeah. He's so brilliant at that.
How did he come up with that on the spot without even playing the game? That's what I need to
Well,
know.
he says his friends know, and I bet you if Tom listened to what we said, much like Chris would if he were our boss or ran the company, you just don't listen. You'd know we drop enough Animal
Right.
Crossing knowledge for you to have an idea
know,
of it.
yeah.
You just have this superpower that Tommy, his son, has, where they can block off the world and just kind of sit there
Yeah.
and just kind of float through life hearing nothing.
Yeah. You call it a superpower. My wife calls it mental illness. Each his own. Also, am I the only one that gets nervous? Like when I hear Chris, when he ends on a word, I'm like, he's never gonna be able to rhyme with this. like I get nervous. I'm like, oh, he did it.
I have faith in him.
You would think that you'd have anxiety about stuff that you need anxiety
Right.
about, you know?
No. I just.
Why are you worried about him? He's fine. He's
I know.
professional.
I know. I'm just like, he'll
What's
never
he
be
gonna
able-
do?
Like he's never gonna be able to rhyme this. Oh, he did it. Every single time. I get worried that he's gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, but I feel like bad.
You know what
for
I'm
him.
confident of? Chris is never listening to you talk and then goes, he goes, oh, he's never going to be able to finish this story. He doesn't do that because he
Right.
knows you're going to keep talking.
Well, it's a guarantee that I'm gonna fail. You just bet on that. It's like the roulette is all black, one red.
We got to take a break. We'll take one. We'll come back with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan right after this. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
What do you guys know about the band Breaking Benjamin?
They're a band.
Yeah. Samantha, this is in your court. You know.
remember-
Because typical, just radio rock.
I guess the bigger question would be, have you found yourselves, both of you guys, have you found yourselves dipping into anything that you normally wouldn't do just because you have a little bit more time at night and there are less options to go to as far as live television programs? Because we had a caller leave us a voicemail, and I'll just let them throw this at you. Tell me if you're dipping back into anything that you haven't done in a minute.
Dan, Sam, Trav, and all other mediocre our team. Anyways, scrolling through the YouTubes, doing the other thing, listening to fun music because I love, discovering stuff. Breaking Benjamin, song called Dear Agony, Aurora version featuring Lacey Sturm. If you wanted to relive 2006, my friends, it's here. Via April 15th, 2020, Breaking Benjamin teams up with what I'm pretty certain is the lady from Flyleaf for a nice little soft, I don't know, something you might hear at like alternative Starbucks.
Okay. He continues to go on about this idea of alternative Starbucks, where it's like going to a Starbucks, instead of hearing like a coffee house style music, you hear like more of like a Breaking Benjamin. I pulled up the song and figured we could give it a whirl. I didn't even know Breaking Benjamin was still around.
I did not either.
Still on Hollywood Records.
Yeah, I think I remember.
This is, now, another reason why I wanted to play this is that wouldn't we have had Earth Day Birthday this past weekend?
Yes.
Was that at the time?
Last Wednesday was Earth Day.
Yeah,
so.
this is mega Earth Day Birthday, right? Breaking Benjamin. Okay, that's garbage. Yeah, sorry.
I can't get into it.
No, I can't do it. It's not garbage. It's just not something I like. But yeah, Earth Day Birthday would have been this past weekend. And I know it's one of your favorite jokes, is what I said. Oh, Earth Day Birthday. It's when no yards get mowed in the Orlando or Volusia County area. Like more Volusia County.
A lot of yardmen.
Yeah, a lot of your, your yard guys love the JRR.
Also, to pile on that joke, you're actually saving at least the Earth's grass and the overgrown trees because they're not out there cutting them at the Earth Day Birthday.
That's true.
A lot of DUIs, though.
Yeah, a lot of ponytails.
So you're, I think the damage, you're doing more damage than good.
You are saving the Earth by taking the guys that chop the Earth out of play for the day.
Yeah.
But
then you're getting them drunk and having them kill society in the cars.
yeah. Oh man, it's hard to get brains out of a ponytail. That's not funny.
I have no idea of
a lot of ponytails.
The statistical analytics.
But also a lot of Tom and Dan hats. Straw hats.
Yeah.
A lot of those. We salute you. You're the real American heroes out there. Because if you weren't doing it, who would listen to Breaking Benjamin?
The going along the same theme as this guy, there are two different songs that every single time I ever hear them, which is rarely now because I don't listen to like radio or anything.
You're completely out of music radio, right? Like you used to dabble a little bit in old punk rock.
I'll still put on punk rock on like Spotify and stuff.
When you and your boys are floating in the tub or something.
Yeah,
hot tub.
Yeah.
Not in the they don't take baths together.
Yeah. I've contemplated getting in there because it looks fun, but I'm like too big. I'm gonna really disperse the.
Getting there with them
in the bathtub, the regular bathtub.
Yeah.
But in the hot tub, we'll sit in there, and I'll. Like every time I hear, remember, what is that?
It's been a while.
No. There was something. Feeling bad.
Gorillaz.
Yeah. Every time I hear
it's not. Okay, first of all, the lyrics are not. It's something. Feeling bad. It's something. Feeling bad. Oh my God.
Useless. Not for long. Do.
I do feel. Hold on. Somebody clip that out because I'm useless. Do. Like
King of our team.
I feel like for a split second you broke character and became who you really are.
Somewhere Remy's putting his mask on.
Look, I'm surprised you knew that much.
It's good time.
I just unleashed the bat signal. Also, that
Clint Eastwood, right?
What is that? The name of the song? Oh,
yeah.
So this reminds me of
if you think I'm doing a parody to this in your voice,
putting away
have to.
bolts at Home Depot. This song and check to see if they came out the same time because maybe my memory's wrong. But this and Linkin Park's the metal rap duo song. I forgot what.
That was like their whole thing.
Yeah. But it was
the band was.
It was their super popular.
Is it like?
In the end.
In the end, yeah. There it is. This
song. Young Tom Van sorting bolts at Home Depot.
Yeah. Because the older guy that worked with us.
Oh, was it on Home Depot radio or something? And
no.
They just looped it all day?
At night, when I was doing night stalking, I think this was probably 2000.
Oh, sorry, Young Tom Van sorting these bolts. put them in the band. Home Depot,
This was-
working with the Grizz. Everybody knows I had one little squirt of fizz in the hallway every day because I hate my bosses and I can't drive anyway.
The one older dad that was in his like late 30s, he was the only old guy that worked in the night crew with us. It was like
Hey, put on Linkin Park Stained.
he brought his radio and listened to JRR
hell
overnight.
yeah.
And by the way, every single night,
Vulture!
me and the Grizz would be like, "Oh, we should bring a radio to listen to because we'd be in different parts
I
of
got
the
a radio stuck on JR.
And we
It was
spent
Breaking Benjamin.
5 months, never brought a radio once, and every day we'd hear the old man's radio. And by the way,
No,
he's
you're
my
bad.
age. He was
Right.
me and the Grizz were like 20, and we were like, we should bring a radio. We forget every night.
Got my radio.
And he
Hey,
would-
they just played Rob Zombie's Dragula.
and it would be Linkin Park or the goddamn it's useless, feeling bad.
I only got 2 songs on the radio. One is a useless feeling bad song, and the other is a hard to try.
Goddamn, they play Linkin Park like 25 times an hour or something like
Yeah.
during that time.
Oh,
It
it was
2002 alternative radio.
They did it again a little bit when Chester passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they started putting more on there. I'm like, oh my God, can't handle this anymore.
How many times can you hear it?
All right, we got to get out of here.
Yep.
Plug some stuff, and we will leave.
You can watch the Tom and Dan doc. Just go to Amazon, search a mediocre documentary or Tom and Dan. It'll pop up. It's free if you're an Amazon Prime member. We got new merch on TomandDan.com. Sign up to become a BDM on TomandDan.com. Look at our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TomandDan. Look at our YouTube
Oh,
channel.
Tom and Dan Live.
Oh,
Tom and Dan
sorry,
Live. Yeah.
Tom and Dan Live.
Yeah, just search Tom and Dan Live.
to everything.
Everything pops up. I tried to make that a little bit easier this year.
Yeah, there's the Busey, Cribs, Seth Petrozelli. We talked to Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, Chris
all of our
Turner will
videos,
be
yeah.
coming up very, very soon. You get to see our good friend, LA comedian and improvisational rapper, Chris Turner.
Yep.
And yeah, guys, thanks for listening. We will see you tomorrow.